No, I think like it's been that's been my whole game, and I've been fortunate enough to keep the speed for the most part. I think I'm a little slower than I used to be back in the day when I was in my mid-20s, but I've definitely been able to keep it up, and that's an asset, and that's probably why I'm still able to play at my age right now.
Scottish Cup, going to that, before we talk about Fife and playing the Flyers, we're still a bit confused whether it's the Scottish Cup, was it an exhibition or was it a fully competitive sort of competition for you guys? How did you approach it?
Well, for us, it was approached was that, we got to get ready for the regular season. So no matter what, even if it is an exhibition game for the most part, you're working on things, you have to go into the game. You want to win no matter what, but at the same time, you got to work on things. You got to work on systems, work on who you're playing with, get to know them. There's a lot of things that come into play. I think the Scottish Cup, was maybe at the start, it was, let's get a feeler out. But then once, we got into that final game there versus Fife, obviously with the war that's between the fans and, obviously the players can feel that. It kind of got hyped up and it turned into a real hockey game. Yeah,
it was pretty unexpected, I'd like to think, the number of niggles that happened that game. And certainly yourself, I know you're not going to answer this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What did he say?
Yeah. He was, he was just all over me the entire game. And, it's not something I do all the time, but I need to be pretty mad too when I do fight. But he just wouldn't stop, and he kind of just rubbed me the wrong way, and it was just constantly, and I just, you know what? I said, why not? Here we go. So I introduced him to myself.
He certainly did. I think he got the shock of his life. Because I think the only time I remember you was down in Manchester. I think we spoke not long after that game as well. The first season you were here. And you'd thought, I can't remember. Stephen, you need to help me with names again. Do you remember who it was?
It was one of those guys in Storms. I think he had like a Polish surname. And I know Kelly's.
Oh, it's Folks.
Was it Folks?
That's right. Yeah. And you kind of thought, no, you fought him and you kind of thought, but the rest of the year, as you say, you're not really that type of player, but when it's necessary. So when you kind of lost it again, you go, oh, Brendan's away again.
Yeah. No,
I don't think he'll chirp you the next game, though.
Yeah, no. Who knows? But he's got to earn it to get back and do it again. Yeah. So he might have to go through Doty to try to get to me next time. Yeah. No, it's something I did a lot. I actually did it a lot. Like I was, a top middleweight fighter in the American Hockey League for a long time. But I was there to score goals and be an offensive player. But it was a different edge I had to bring to my game actually to get to my NHL contracts and stuff. So it's something that I brought into my game. I always had it, and always, it happened a few times, but I never just went out and said, hey, I'm going to fight tonight. It was always done through the heat of the game, and, I had to be, pretty upset to fight, and whenever it happened, some years more than others, and but it was something I've always done, but it's especially since I came to Europe, it became less and less, there's not as much fighting as there used to be, just with everything that's gone on over the years. The game has changed, but some games, obviously, like the Fife one, it's going to happen.
Yeah, and I was going to say, was that a surprise in a way? Was it just a natural evolution the way that game turned out with so many niggles, or was it setting the bar for what was going to be, for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think both teams came out and played hard and wanted to set a standard to say, this is the way these games are going to be, and they probably won't all be like that, no. But, both teams want to win, and, you can feed off the fans, and, we know obviously how it is between the fans, our fans, and the Fife fans, so we knew going into the game, what the fans wanted to see, and they wanted to win. And, plus when I got booed, I didn't really like that either. So I remember when I left to go to Fife, at least the Braehead fans gave me a little cheer. I didn't get many boos, but the booze kind of set me off a bit, but so it was nice. It was nice to get the win.
Yeah, definitely, Stephen.
You've been on both sides of the Clan Fife rivalry. Do you think it's possible for there to be just an exhibition game between the two, or do you think it'll always descend into that sort of hard-hitting sort of game?
Yeah, I think it's always going to be that way. You know, the rivalry, just the way it is. I don't think that's going to change. I think that's probably, as long as both teams are in the league, that's the way it's going to be for as long as it can go. There's no matter what, like you said, if it's an exhibition game or a real game, I think no matter what, they're going to turn into a hard-fought game just because of the rivalry.
Obviously, we had a disappointing weekend there, you know, two tough defeats. What is the mood in the camp just now? What's been said to try and get the team back on track?
You know, we had some great moments on the weekend. You know, we're definitely not where we need to be, and you know, it's a good thing that it's happened already. You know, maybe a few guys that have come in new to the league, you know, got to see actually how good this league is. That any team can beat anybody on any night, and you have to be fully ready to play each and every night to get a win. And you know, it could be a blessing in disguise. You know, I think you know, being a little short-handed didn't help, and the travel, not to make any excuses, you know, Milton Keynes played a really good game, and I think the game in Coventry could have gone in our favor a few times. You know, they had I think, you know, we controlled a lot of the play for most of that second period, and but it's just the way the game went, and you know, they ended up on top that night. But there was a lot of great moments that we had, and it's you know, I'm going to be excited with this team, and you know, once we get a few more bodies in, I think we're going to be a real dangerous team.
Well, I was just going to say, that is the hot topic amongst most Clan fans at the moment, is the kind of recruitment and the fact that we've started the season. Obviously, Ryan Petoni is on his way, and we've got 2 guys to go. But that has been the hot topic, and obviously the coach has been out and said, you know, that's down to him, and he's just trying to get the right bodies in. It's kind of hard for the fans to kind of get their heads around it when we've started the season, though. And I'm sure, you know, the guys must be talking about it in the dressing room as well. You know, is it just hoping and praying that we get the guys in and we get the right guys in?
It's very important to get the right guys in. You know, you don't want to bring a guy in that you think, oh, well, he might be okay, he might, you know, fit in, or then rather making sure we have the guy that's going to come in and make an impact and be what this team needs to fit the puzzle. You know, you just don't want a body. You know, you know, Jordan Boas has done a great job for us. You know, he's young. You know, he definitely probably won't get that ice time, you know, once we get a full lineup. But the kid has worked hard. But, you know, the game, he's, you know, you can tell he's still not fully ready to be a regular shift kind of guy. But he has done a lot of work. And as of right now, he's done good enough to be in that lineup until we get some other guys here.
Yeah, I take it, obviously, they took that knee on Saturday night, and, you know, looking at it, you were kind of worried that it was going to be more long-term, but I take it wasn't too bad with him icing on Sunday.
Yeah, no, he's okay. Yeah, he's been skating, and, you know, he always comes in with a smile, so I really like him. He's got a good attitude for this game, and, you know, he's got a bright future, that's for sure.
Sure. Jennifer, are you with us yet?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, obviously, you've just kind of spoken about like Jordan Buesa, and obviously you're a year out the team, and there's not too many players that you're coming back to that are here. But obviously, a couple of Brits you have seen previously. Can you notice any difference in obviously the season that you've not seen them?
Well, yeah, I think they have gotten in better shape. You know, I think, you know, John has done a good job at, you know, getting a few of the guys in a shape that they probably have not been in before. And, you know, they're getting a lot of ice time right now, probably a lot more than they have in the past. And it gives you an opportunity to see, you know, what they can actually do and bring. And, you Peacock especially has done. He's had a great exhibition games, and he's been a great leader in the room, and he's doing a really good job right now for us.
Yeah, how was Arthur's seat? Sorry, I saw a picture he had you running up and down that.
Yeah, we went up for a little run, a little hike, and just like a little team thing. It was great. It was a beautiful day, and kind of had a few laughs with the guys, and got a little workout in. There's some football stories that go about certain managers over here that used to take their guys down to sand dunes and wouldn't let them stop running until they basically puked. It's been as bad as that with John Chip? Is he that? No, not that bad. That sounds horrible.
Well, that was all those stories for the 60s and the 70s.
No, we haven't had it that bad, but no, it's definitely been intense and hard, and being in shape is not going to be a problem.
No, especially when it comes towards the end of the season. I think, some people have always said that's been a problem for some teams more than others, maybe in this league, and certainly not going to be a problem for us this year. How did it feel? Has it been? Have you noticed any differences round about the club in general in the 12 months you were away, even just in terms of organisation or anything else that's been happening?
Yeah, I think they're making a lot of steps forward to becoming even more professional than they were, and they're trying to do everything to make it better for the players, better for the fans. They're trying to do everything, and it's a big job, and they got a lot of work ahead of them. But they've been doing a really good job, and I've noticed it's become even more professional than when I was here. So they're headed in the right direction for sure.
And in terms of, obviously, we've only played competitively Milton Keynes and Coventry. Has there been a jump in the level of play this year, or has it not been that noticeable? Obviously, Milton Keynes are a brand new team. It's kind of hard to gauge where they're going to be at.
Yeah, they have a good team, and I think every year, the last 2 years, the level of play has gotten better and better. I guess from the year I came in a few years ago, it had gotten better, a lot better from the year before. And I found last year the level of play was even better than the year before. So I think it's just been getting better and better, and there's a lot of options out there for players, and it's become very competitive, and obviously you can tell by how Nottingham has done at the Champions League and Cardiff. It's been very good for the league to just show how good this league is actually. So it's been a great showing for this league.
And have you got your right stick to start the season with this year?
Oh yeah, we're good. We're ready to rock.
Because I remember, we better not even talk about it. At least you've got your stick to start with, a proper twig. Stephen, are you with us now?
I am, yes. Obviously, the last signing was Ryan Petone, who is a bit more high profile than in terms of who the Clan get in. Do you think that the success of the Cardiff and Nottingham in the CHL, as well as you're saying that you can say to players that the league standard's getting better, do you think that's helping you in recruit these guys who a few years ago would have no chance of coming to Clan probably?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. That's kind of how I ended up here, because years before I would have never considered coming over here, and because Finner had called me for years to come, and I think once I saw some of the guys that had been signing, and you're like, wow, like he's signing there, then he's signing there, and you see all these top-notch players, guys that I've played with and against, start to sign here, and then you know for a fact that it must be getting way better. So obviously, he's probably said the same thing when he was considering signing. He probably knows some guys in the league and has seen it before, and it's gotten really good, and just getting more notice from other leagues, other teams. We have guys that are coming that are in this league, and then they're moving on to what are considered bigger leagues, and it's just been getting a lot better.
So with the camps wrapping up now, we're looking to the AHL and ECHL with the camps sort of filtering down. Are we looking towards that now? Is trying to get players for there, or are you still